What happens to a person who is put in prison when they are 18 and released at 40? A job. Nephew was 39, just a few years younger than me. Asked him a few informal questions about what he knew how to do, and he had non-committal evasive answers. This wasn't a formal interview, and I just ended conversation. Next day, nephew contacted me again and told me that he was arrested in Georgia when he was 19 and just got out, and he really needed a job. Being close to the same age, my mind immediately went to all of the things I got to do between 19 and 39, and all of the things he didn't get to do. First real job, got married, bought a house, vacations, pets, family events, career, sports, bought a company. He'd missed out on so many things and spent what I thought at the time was the best part of his life locked away. Much longer conversation this time. He really needed a job, and sometimes best employees are the ones that need the job the most. Started him in an entry-level position with the caveat that just because of his past, I had to have a zero-tolerance policy with him about fighting at work. I never did ask him what he did to get incarcerated, and to this day I don't know. He did 19 years and change in one stretch. He's paid his debt and deserved a shot at a new start, and when you talk to him at length, the man that was arrested no longer existed. He was a different person. First few months, he was a pretty crummy employee. Didn't know any skills which I expected, but didn't know how to work. He figured it out though. Eventually worked his way up to foreman and ended up working for me for about 15 years. Along the way, he got married, bought a house, new cars, went to family events, basically all the things I did from 19 to 39. He just had a delayed start. Aside from a single DUI, never did get into any trouble. In his mid-50s, he had some serious health issues, ended up in the hospital, and it wasn't looking good. Some of my employees asked me if they could take off early one Friday so they could go see him. I shut the jobs down for the afternoon so we could all go see him in the hospital. He passed away that evening about 20 years too early, just like he started life 20 years too late. He was a good man. Sorry to see him go. Edit. Thanks for all of the upvotes and positive comments. Lot of comments about what a great thing I did. Perhaps I've done a few great things. I don't consider this to be one of them. This probably had a pretty big impact on my employee, but it didn't require any sacrifice on my part. I just had to listen to his story and make the pretty obvious conclusion that this man has changed, and it would be stupid to let something that happened 20 years ago dictate who stood before me. I wish this wasn't the norm, but realize that it is. Now if I figured out that he hadn't changed, hadn't managed to learn how to control his anger management issues, and I hired him anyway with the idea that I was going to help him change and successfully did, so even if I got beat up, threatened, stolen from along the way, yes, that would be a great thing. Follow up. In the last 20 years, I've hired lots of people that have been away for long periods of time. Some of them have really sad, terrible stories. Only one time did I get someone who hadn't managed to learn to control his anger management issues. He was pretty wound up when I gave him his final check. Left me a pretty detailed voicemail, and that's as far as it went.